Hey there, family. You've heard this week about our own personal stories around discipline, around some other people's stories around discipline, but today we're going to talk about one of the most practical things that we use in our lives called our non-negotiables.
So here in this Friday minisode, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to talk about some of those easy things that you can commit to that will build your discipline on a daily basis.
If you're hearing all this culture talk and want to be a part of a thriving, growing culture, we want to invite you to be a part of Squeeze In.
Squeeze In Franchising offers you the chance to bring a culture and a vibe like Squeeze In to your community. You can make money, you can get time freedom for you and your family. We would love to have you as part of our Squeeze In family.
Join us in the ownership team and go to squeezein.com/franchising.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
If you've been watching on YouTube, you've had a special front row seat to a discipline in action. If you're listening to this via a podcast and you don't know that we actually have a guest in the studio right now, this wonderful little fly that keeps hanging out around Shyla and I's heads, but we have the discipline to stay active and in podcast mode to present with you today.
All right. Well, I like that spin on discipline there, right? Because when we come down to it, we're saying that discipline is whatever you call that mechanism inside that holds you to doing what you said you were going to do. We said we were going to record a podcast. We didn't say I'm going to get distracted by a fly and freak out and get out of here. We said we're going to record a podcast. And so reorienting yourself onto what that standard is, what that commitment is one of our favorite ways to build discipline. But one of the things that we found about discipline is that oftentimes when trying to build discipline, it invokes negotiation inside. Have you ever experienced this, right? Like, I'm gonna work out. And then the negotiations inside begin. Well, it's raining outside. Well, your foot kind of hurts still. Well, you didn't sleep great last night, right? Like those internal negotiations happen. And then you're making a decision about it. When you remove the decision, the discipline becomes a lot easier. And that's what Kay and I have formed into some of our very basic non-negotiables.
Now, we can't hold too many non-negotiables in our life because obviously life needs to have some flexibility. And you heard us on Monday talk about how discipline can really set you up for freedom. And so we're not saying your whole day needs to be non-negotiable. There are some teachers out there who preach that to be the way, but we've implemented just a few tasks inside our day that we consider as non-negotiables. Like, my head will not hit that pillow until I've done these things.
Right. And this really emerged for us kind of organically as a piece that was like, how do I tell and negotiate my inner voice, that inner narration that's telling me that I'm not good enough, that I'm dumb, that I'm fat, that I'm lazy, all of those things? What is something that I could bring forward to that voice and say, but look, today, which is the only time that I have any kind of control over, I did these 5 things. And if I do these 5 things every day, it is going to create the person that I say I want to be. Those things are what we call the non-negotiables there. And then there isn't that decision or that negotiation process. You're simply doing those things. And so as we kind of formulated through this, I need to be able to present a case that says I'm still doing a good job and I did a good job today and today's the only time I can control. Then these non-negotiables came forward. So in the beginning, these non-negotiables were like, brush your teeth.
Yeah, not a joke. That is a real non-negotiable.
Brush your teeth. Yeah. And put your retainers in, right? Wash your face, get your exercise in, and drink your 5 glasses of water. Like, if I do those 5 things every single day, then when my voice starts to rail that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, that I'm lazy, that I'm greasy, like whatever, that I can say, yeah, but I did the 5 things today. And every day I could do those 5 things. And like, it was just this like thing that emerged for us as like this strategy to try and figure out how to combat the voice. But it turns out it was like really helpful for us. And over time, we've been able to expand the dimensions on the non-negotiables to help us better build our discipline.
Right. Well, these are some pretty dang simple strategies, right? Some things that the boxes that you can check to give yourself the feeling of success. It's that little success that you can build larger successes on. And are you going to get all of the things 100% perfect all of the time and every day? No, you are not. However, if you can get your bare minimum done, you can at least give yourself that pat on the back and create that success in the moment for yourself. One of my non-negotiables that I've been able to add into this list now that some of these other things have become automatic is making my bed. It is a non-negotiable for me to respect the space that I spend 1/3 of my life in. The very bare minimum I can do every day is to make it nice and make my bed. But that non-negotiable has such a ripple effect in my life because every time I come into my bedroom, I see that beautifully made bed. We even added some fun pillows to it to create more of a nice environment. I love getting into my bed at night, even if my sheets are the same sheets that I've been in for a week. I love getting into that bed because I respected it in the morning. Similarly with respecting your body by exercising, respecting your skin by washing your face and washing your body, respecting your mouth and your teeth and your health by brushing your teeth. Now it seems like really basic stuff, but we promise that these little disciplines, when not negotiated over, become these habits that you can build larger successes for in the future.
Well, we sure hope you've enjoyed this discussion of discipline. We are still heartily on the road of building better standards, higher standards, better discipline, and better commitments. But what we promise is that we're always committed to sharing our journey alongside each and every one of you, part of our human family. Wherever you are listening to this or watching this, we hope you know that we're cheering you on, we're rooting for you, and as always, with love from your sisters, Kay and Shy.
And today, the fly.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.